Okay. All right, guys, welcome back to session 80, part 3, where the Menagerie have made it back to the western side of Green Hill, finding their Fox Force allies at Filbert's Fabulous Fabrics. Instead, busted out some gems and went shopping, and the Menagerie have now all regathered. Yeah, he went ham on the shopping. Have all regathered, and it is pretty late now. And Filbert has called the smart ones to discuss. But honestly, you guys can do whatever you'd like. So, yeah, what are you guys doing?
Is there not the huddle going on still?
All right, if you guys want to do the huddle, we can do the huddle.
Big brain time.
Okay.
I mean, the only person that's in the group that's not in the huddle is Dregnar, me and Dregnar. So
Yeah,
we're just like being like, what the fuck are they doing?
and Dragnar technically has 2 boats, so he could pipe in if he's repping. Dragnar will be
Show
like,
off.
I guess, should we food
Yeah,
or something?
let's just
I mean, do you guys have any
yeah, because we've been
fresher food or let me 1 second.
I'm
Rock,
gonna break. I'll break out all the berries and everything that I picked.
there we
Off the
go. Yeah, so 8 rations worth of berries and bark and enough fish to feed people. We'll say that's good. They all like look at it as like, damn, nice.
I mean, when we
Thank
found him,
you.
he was coming out of a forest, so I'm assuming he knows how to forage and stuff. So.
You'll see like Roderick take one of those berries and like, mmm, mmm, mmm. Just every time he bites one. Mm. Yeah. All right. So we'll say that food is substantially supplied. Al just mark off, or not Al, sorry, Rock mark off those 8 rations, and the extra fish that y'all threw in will be more than enough to take care of.
Right.
Cool. All right. So forgive me, Danny, as I take over the smart crew.
It's fine. Actually, I'll be right back.
Okay. So now that we have confirmed for sure that there are hags, and I suspect that you guys did indeed go to a place that was designated or created or formed by something very, very powerful. And then we got the people that are going real crazy with the red. We got the symbols of the harvest. We got 3 hags left, apparently, because y'all killed 6 of them.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing here? Like, what are you guys thinking? I need to know so I can.
Get rid of the rest of them, of course.
Mm-hmm.
We don't.
But delicately, we gotta make a game plan this time. Gotta be cautious because we're in town. There's a lot of bystanders, a lot of innocents.
And a lot of those innocents, unless they figure out that the hags are running the show, would likely become very upset if we attack their new religious icons.
Mm-hmm.
He's smart. He knows what I'm thinking.
Gotta be delicate because it's also gotta be fast. Because potentially a lot of these people are fuel. I don't know how this process works, how this ritual is gonna meet their end goal, but that's what I've come up with so far. That the people are the resource.
People are the resource. I mean, that's. Boy. Okay. I got nothing. Other than this is gonna be difficult.
Good start. I think a lot of us are in the same position.
And that's why I called you guys over. 'Cause I need help.
Have there been any regular large gatherings, ceremonies where any high-ranking figures address the followers?
Honestly, all the time. Uh, definitely always over at the Central Bounty. but also they seem to parade and meet up at different shrines every day. There's about a handful of those high sisters, the ones that Eddie kind of does like a scooping motion out their eyes. Or eye, I should say. Mm, I don't know really. I nothing really. This is what's difficult. We're not trained to hunt hags. In fact, it's kind of impressive what you guys have done. I don't know how we even get about getting their attention. And from what mm,
I can get their attention.
It's easy
And
to put
no,
in.
I won't
on.
light anything on fire. I could go into the middle of town and build a castle. That would get people's attention.
Castle, not a hut.
Hmm.
Is something new? You gonna tell me something?
Are we
Yes.
looking to get their attention?
I mean, not now, but eventually.
Hey, Rock,
Yeah.
an idea forms. I know how to purify large quantities of amassed food, and they had such in the Central Bounty, correct?
Yep.
You build a castle around us while I perform such a ritual. It would take me a while to do, and it would definitely get everybody's attention. Everybody's attention who would be interested about that.
I mean, I can do that. It takes me a little bit to build the castle. Huh?
I don't assume that we're gonna finish our ritualistic casting or anything, but it would definitely get the attention that we were seeking from the people who wouldn't like that.
My
That's
only
true.
my only concern with drawing so much attention to pull out those who are in control, they have enough followers now that it would likely be many of these sisters, potentially some of the ogres or giants that come, not them.
We could get rid of the ogres and giants by
But you,
being the hags that they're scared of, because no one knows that those hags are dead.
but they
Me and
didn't even
Albert.
know that they were hags from what they thought that they were leaders and shamans and influencers.
We've seen those leaders though, so we could become them. Me and Al could turn into
Gonna-
two of them and say, "We're done here.
I
Back
was
to the
gonna
woods with you." And they don't like that. Well, we're scary. We'll make them listen.
I was gonna take a step back and every like few seconds turn into something that looks a little closer to, I guess, the bone hag.
are you going full hag, or are you trying to do like human version of her?
Full hag.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, he'll start full hag until he picks up on it.
Yeah, you're able to, and ugly as ever.
Bloop, 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 bloop. Is
It's
this
like,
pretty close?
how could be anything? We can use him to they're leaderless right now. They don't know they're leaderless right now, but they're leaderless right now.
Use me, and then
Well,
he
there's
frowns.
still 3 left. I have to assume that they were organizing things here while the others encouraged their
But it seemed like the hags we interacted with had interactions. Maybe they all control the ogres. I don't know. The ones that we dealt with definitely had some ogres under their command. Maybe that was their job, control the ogres. They were from the east.
Well, Filbert would say maybe it's not so much control as it is just to get them to rally to the same cause. I mean,
We find a way to rally them to a different cause, or scare them out of here.
Hmm.
Yeah.
No,
Right?
I do agree that they may have been the leaders to some extent. They at least brought them over, maybe loaned them to the other hags, but I feel like they're still the original owners, the original leaders of
Rock,
the.
do you remember when I tried to cleanse Harley? I'm sorry to interrupt you, Al. I didn't
No,
know.
this is interesting. Go on.
Their hold upon these people is very indefinitely strong. There's not much. I don't think that we could do to break it unless we kill every single last one of them.
Every
And
single
that's
last,
honestly what I intend on doing.
every last hag or every last follower.
Every last hag.
Okay. Okay, so we're at least on the same page there. That's our best hope that clearing out those three.
Well, that being said, like, you know, they probably don't want to be found. And even if you did want to get their attention, y'all just killed 6 of them in total. Why would they want to confront you?
Exactly.
We killed their sisters. We're ruining their plans. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah. But why would they want to confront you if you just killed their sisters?
Uh,
They scheme, they plot, they possibly wait. No? Am I missing something? I thought you guys said that this was going on for like decades.
no, you're right.
Well,
Best case
well,
scenario, they have an ego, and one of them might step forth, and but that's just. But no, you're right. I do feel like they can just wait and pull the strings and
I
chip
mean,
away.
if we were purposely, or if we were being perfectly honest, so far we haven't really outsmarted hags. We've mostly just stumbled in all of their traps and then brute forced our way out of it. But it's worked.
Brute force is right. We're making progress, but there's always a cost. We need
Maybe
our focus this time. This third attempt is to minimalize, but we're in probably the most dire straits out of any of. It's in the middle of town. What the fuck?
Well, exactly. He said it. The other times I mean, the first batch that you dispatched of, you guys said they were in the swamp. There was no one that you had to worry about hurting. Here, at least you did it on another plane of existence. No one you had to worry about hurting. That you come
There
to
were
town.
prisoners.
Hmm.
To bystanders is much easier to protect than an entire city of people who are thinking that the people we're attacking, unless we can, like I said, unless we can show them that they're publicly expose them. Any assault on, even if we found where they were, if their followers know and we were to storm that place with, straightforward violence, there would
that's
be
kind of
resistance.
what I'm offering. I think do they might be afraid of coming out in person. I see what you're saying there, and I am the one concern I do have is the people of the town. I don't want any harm to come to them. I'm with Rock on this one. It would be I don't think I would ever even lift a finger to them, even if they were hitting me upon my head right now. However, if we were to perform a cleansing on the central harvest, do you think that that wouldn't be so important that they wouldn't come? They could send the whole village, but maybe they will see for themselves what is being cleansed.
But if
especially
the,
if by Central Harvest you mean the big tree and the temple right there, like that seems to be important to them. And if they send things after us, I mean, you're right. The town would see that here stand some not evil people defending them.
that's on, I apologize, I'm not familiar with the tree that you're talking about or the cleansing of food. Anything we do will need to have a bystander will need to be able to see it and know what is happening. If we simply burn this tree down that's a symbol of their faith, we are heretics assaulting what they believe in, unless the tree turns into writhing serpents or something like that. There has to be something that lets the people know that it's not what it seems.
You are quite intelligent. Yes, you're right. That is mostly what I'm afraid of.
I
What
think
what's You spoke of cleansing the food. What is that in relation to?
Cleansing has
Everything
a
that
very
comes from the
specific
land
meaning
here.
for the
Oh, I'm
menagerie.
sorry. Go ahead.
Cleansing has a very specific meaning for the menagerie. We have a habit of burning things that we find unfit for the world. At
I
least that was
see.
my understanding.
I don't burn things anymore.
Completely
So we
fair.
would take the food for the citizens and burn it, and that would show them. Sorry,
Do any
I
of
don't
you
know if
have
I.
any of the food that is tainted?
Y'all, you purchase rations. Do those seem tainted, for lack of a better word?
Well,
I mean, the only way that you've been able to actually pick up on it was when things have been breaking down and rotting. You've never been successful be able to notice anything special about it when it's like fresh food. Rations are different. I don't know.
What happens when this food breaks down? What's the sign that tipped you off that something was off?
So, Rock can probably back me up here. So we can see magical auras from the different schools. Um, you have to concentrate on it, but we can detect magic to an extent. When the food is rotting, it definitely emits magic, whereas no food should be doing that. Anything perfectly natural, at least at the material plane, no magic. I think we're mostly picking up conjuration, transmutation, which
Mm-hmm.
for something to ingest, that's not a good sign. Something created, something transformed. That's
Have we looked at the food that appears from the magical cauldron we've been eating from? I would
we've
imagine that.
carefully selected all the food that we've taken so far. Some of it has been tainted, but we were astute enough to investigate it first before we ate it, and either threw it out or cleansed it,
we try to
or
minimize the
the
effects as much
fire.
as we can. We were definitely in town for a few days before we realized what was going on.
Well, to be fair, we came with our own rations, but we've had to eat what's been here. I'm sure you guys have had to eat what's been here. So if there's bad stuff, it's
Does,
inside all of us.
does Davis have all of the things Marv dropped off? Do we sell? Our saving grace was Marv was able to conjure magic rations. I don't even know how they work, but they filled you up. They were nutritious, and they weren't part of the bounty. I think that kept us going for the longest time. But
I happened to
Davis,
snag
Davis,
I don't
a
have it.
bounty
Somebody has
apple
the pouch.
when we were at the boulder
Oh,
fields,
sorry, I
and I
actually am
think
here.
it's still in my pack. And this is straight from the cauldron, so there's no doubt to me that it's tainted. And I'm gonna hand it to our lion friend.
Takaros? Okay.
Yeah,
Kind of slice it open, just kind of
Um,
inspect it, see if I notice anything seems even slightly off. Not even from like a magical perspective, but just
yeah.
versus
Hey,
my familiar with regular apples.
so keep in mind, right, that we in the modern day, especially in the North American continent, are extremely picky and have a misconception of what food looks like because everything here is perfect.
GMOs.
Yeah. The apple itself, has some bruises and isn't perfectly shaped and everything, but as far as you can tell, it's an apple. Mm, You slice it open, kind of rip it apart. I mean, it's a little bit old. Still smells fine. Looks fine. It's not glowing.
so one of the most difficult pieces about it is we at least I haven't been able to detect any kind of magic until it starts rotting. Like we passed by an alleyway on the way over here. I'm not sure if you saw me take a little side path to check it out. Um, but no, it's the same. The food does the same thing regardless of where we are. Its vicinity, the boulder fields, the main town. So I can't. It's hard to tell how much this affects a person because you can't detect the magic until it's too late. And it's definitely
Certainly.
for the boulder fields is definitely having an effect on people. I don't know if it's
I
brainwashing.
I don't mean, this is purely speculation on my part. I am no master of magic. My knowledge of it is passing at best. But could it be something, rather than the food itself, something is affecting food when it starts to rot, when it starts to break down? Possibly when people start to digest it. Could it be an effect that's going on in the city rather than the food itself? I only ask because it seems odd that magic could be affecting something and be untraceable, but then when something changes, it is seen. As I said, I'm no expert in magic. It's just something that I thought about
No,
as you explained it.
it's possible, and that's definitely something to consider. As far as we've gotten, the hags are pumping raw magic energy into the land, and that's causing more food to be produced, more fish, more grain, more everything. But
Be plentiful, yes.
yeah, but aside from more of it, we can't find any magic until it's rotting or the person is deeply affected by it. So
A
there may
botanist
be another
once
thing,
told
like you're
me when
saying.
things break down, they become soil, and I believe they mentioned at some point the soil is something that they're preparing. So maybe it's the soil itself. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Man, I'm really bad at interrupting Al. I don't know what it is.
No worries. So it's definitely a possibility. That's the first stop for the raw magic after all, and then everything else. The food feeds off that first before it goes up to the townsfolk.
Oh, you mean you said okay. You said something that they're preparing the land, and you said that they're adjusting their plans based off what's happening.
Oh yeah,
So, how do we understand things that they didn't plan for? We don't. We just have to make assumptions, I guess. Okay. Brain work, 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 work. Okay. Here's the thing. They've been preparing the land. Those of us who do magic, which I think is almost everyone here, Psi, magic, saint, music. Yeah,
music.
when you prepare it, you have to feed it or get it ready for the ritual, for that. And if they really want to do something spooky and scary, that means that it's already in the land. So the land has been prepared. So it doesn't matter what we do. It's not like we can like change all the land. So now we have to go, wait, what's the next threat? The danger. You said something about a harvest and dead people. Do we need to get the
Right.
people out of the city?
That would be preferred, but that's a lot of people.
That's not
And
happening.
yeah, I don't think we can convince them. So many of them are part of the group, part of the cult.
Do we? There's. Hmm. Okay. We need to put our noggins together and think this through. And breaking roleplay real quick. I don't know. Let's see. Do you guys, by any chance, have like an idea of how you want to approach this? or what might be next? Or would you guys need some time to still ponder on it?
I
Like,
think we need time.
okay.
I think time. I was leaning towards tiptoeing, trying to be cautious. But if they do take the first action, we gotta act fast.
So here's why I'm asking, because I have no sense right now of like the group's urgency. This could be something like, I don't know if you guys want to do something for wait a day and then try something, or if you guys want to wait a week and then try something.
I
How much?
think that depends on the plan we land on.
Yeah. So,
Karos's mentality would be observation, not
mhm,
even necessarily from the standpoint of, oh, we need to spend X amount of time, but
yeah.
you know, coming into it not knowing anything about what's been going on in the city other than just, what's been talked about. You know, it-
Mhm.
it'd be one thing if there was, we have the hedonists outside the city, and we have little parades and celebrations inside the city, but the main goals are, we can speculate all we want on what the actual plan is or what's actually going to happen, but uh, it's pretty hard. We don't have
Mhm.
hag hag magic knowledge in our other than what's been found. So for him, it's more of like part of it is obviously taking the last of the hags out. One, two, red mist came in from the rift. So there could be another possessed person or persons out there somewhere now helping them.
That's very
But it,
right. To be honest with you, I totally forgot to ask about the red mist. You should probably ask him.
yeah. And then the aspect of that would be, who knows, maybe only one hag needs to remain to finish the plan because they just needed all of them to sort of set this all up, and now it's far enough along that
Mhm.
just one initiating it. But until we can find a way to track down where they're hiding, or at least a general vicinity or something like that. That's kind of why he was asking about, are there any major celebrations, like, oh, the Great Heart Festival is coming, yeah, the end of the month, the next week, tomorrow. This
Well,
is when
that
we all get together and
yeah,
do XYZ.
that might be something that with some time and just going out and listening, you might be able to pick up some information possibly.
Yeah.
Um, it's
So
not to say like, you know, yeah, I get it. Like you have no sense of time of like when something might happen, but it might just be that it's good for the group to just not disperse, but go out daily and listen and mingle, maybe. I don't know. I'm not trying to give you guys ideas. I'm just trying to understand, you know.
yeah. That's why I said it's not that he wants us to spend X amount of time waiting for something or doing, but we're in a situation where all of our knowledge is sort of half gleaned,
Mhm.
and we have, Karos has no idea what's been going on in the city, and everybody else has been gone for at least a few days.
Yeah.
So
Well, Karos thought the city was gonna be, ruins and rubble.
Leveled,
So,
yeah.
exactly.
yeah.
Or in Civil War or on fire.
Hmm.
Maybe all the above.
Just wait.
And slate. Yeah.
Make it happen.
Again,
Wait.
So
uh,
that's his aspect, is just trying to find where they're hiding, so that at least if we have to choose to pull the trigger, if time is running out, we can have an idea of what to storm without just starting
mhm,
trouble in the middle of somewhere and hoping that they come to us. Because like they said, if they really thought that they could still pull it off but just it was too dangerous. You know, they've been at this for hundreds of years. They could probably be annoyed, but saddle up and wait another 50 for us all to
So
be irrelevant.
at this point, I'm assuming as our absolute last resort, the tree is kind of a big piece. We have discovered that any kind of rebellion, any people against the Mother of the Bounty, if we do light the tree, they will fight back. But at this time, we think the numbers are so low, we would cause more harm than good. But it would at least be a stun.
Yeah,
It might draw them out.
because we'd simply go from somebody, you know, I don't know if the other hags know what you guys look like, but like Rock was getting, you know, collected to go meet somebody. So we have to assume that at least some of you guys, if not all of you guys, are potentially being looked out for. And that would just go from just them looking for it to, these are the people who burnt down our symbol.
If it doesn't end,
I mean,
totally
unless
after
the tree, yeah, unless the tree's about to devour the souls of everyone in the area, then, you know, you got to do what you got to do. But
We could also just start disrupting all of their temples, which will probably find the hags, whatever their main temple is. We know the sisters are part of this.
I
What-
will say, gone what you said, CJ. I think Dragnar would like that. Listen, interrupt, see the responses.
I think we could show up at a different temple every day, disrupt it, stop it, shut it down. That's got to get a response from them if they're still trying to harvest and collect and whatever they're doing to people, and we start ruining their message.
like that. Not only will it piss them off, but I think we've been seeing a large concentration of harvest symbols on those buildings.
Yeah, we
good
could
to get
also
rid
start getting rid of
least-
those.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
I think that's our end goal, and we can do anything to slow that down, that works in our favor.
It's like each place marked is like this place is ready for harvesting, something like that. That can't be good.
So many of them, though. We just got to start. I think we got to at least start with one, like y'all are saying. See their reaction. You will get a reaction out of that, but it's not going all out like burning the tree down.
when you say disrupt their temples, what do you have in mind? Remember, these are gathering points for civilians and these sisters. You also should think, do you want to treat these sisters as unfortunate victims or willing participants at this point?
The sisters lost eyeballs. Do I know that? I know that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody but
I wasn't sure.
Aros at
Yeah,
this
yeah.
point.
The sisters have donated an eye to this, and they are just as culpable. The civilians, the people, the worshippers who don't know better, them we help and we try to break the brainwash and get them out and give them. Maybe we need to start bringing in food that isn't tainted and use our resources for that and just stop the program. And while we're stopping the program, if we disrupt it enough, the hags will find them.
I want to
When
add
I
that
was trying to talk to Harley, if you remember, I didn't say it out loud, but I was trying to break whatever was incanting him, and I was unsuccessful. But if we could break one of these civilians to get them to talk, to get them to realize what is happening, even in the slightest, then we could show them, and then they could talk to others.
Right. Learn to break the cycle, and that's great. And then use that to continue. And instead of everybody's being brainwashed to be sisters, we get everybody to realize that That's a crazy ass cult. So you don't want to be in a crazy ass cult.
It might work, but if they are brainwashed, I feel like they might just, hey, you're against the mother, and then just without thinking, working for the mother, quote unquote the mother, they'll just take them away, put them in the boulder. There's no boulder fields anymore. Still, these hags are
People in
drastic. Maybe they
cults
just get
don't like
executed.
people in
Yeah.
cults don't like being told they're in a cult.
That's for
That
sure.
is true too. Like, I don't know. We kidnap civilians and figure out something that works on them. I don't think we should kidnap people.
I'm not
We
sure
could
about
possibly
kidnapping.
try we could possibly try that with one of the sisters. Find out if they truly are just zealots for a cause they believe is just, or if they're someone who has entered in a
I
contract of power with the hags.
I do want to learn more
Oh,
about the sisters, but they definitely have some kind of innate magic ability. They're not just followers. They're not just brainwashed. I feel like when they gave up that eye, something occurred, something completed, and they're beyond just a person. They've got some kind of magical abilities at that point. And
I will say. Oh, sorry, Al. Go ahead.
um,
Based off
I've
what
the
James has
yeah,
told me, it's James doesn't, so Dragnor doesn't think that anyone doing anything for the Mother of Bounties knows about the hags. The only people that know about the hags are the hags. I think James was saying he doesn't even believe that the sisters are aware that they're doing something for the hags. Because the giants didn't know that they were doing something for the hags. The necromancer didn't realize until it was much later in the game that the hags were using her resources, etc. So, at least from what James has said, he doesn't believe that the hags are at all revealing themselves to even the sisters.
out of character. Did the
Mm.
necromancer ever meet the hags? That was way after, right?
She killed two of them, resurrected them.
She did do. Oh shit. Okay, right.
So,
Psh, we killed
Jeez,
6.
wow.
Get on our level.
Yeah. Necromancer and shit.
mm.
What if
so
we just joined the cult?
Dun, dun, dun.
That we won't be bad guys anymore, and they won't be bad guys. We'll all be friends.
If we get
we could
leaders,
we could still have Jessica. We can send in Jessica. That was always an option. And I look at Al.
I'm like, and I'll transform and give a big smile, big one-eyed smile.
the brunette, yeah, brunette human, right? If I remember
Yeah,
right.
that's it.
Yeah.
But so I would say probably a good time for like, unless there's anything like anyone wants to roll for a thing for. I think what I'm gathering is that it's going to be play it by ear, day by day, go out, gather information, listen.
Gather
Uh,
intelligence.
Stop me if
Acquire
I'm
craft.
stop me if I'm wrong, and then from time to time, like sabotage or dismantle one of the shrines that they have and see what reaction it instills. See what the civilians say, stuff like that. Is that what am I understanding correctly?
Yeah, see what kind of reaction we get. That's what I'm getting so far.
Okay. So we can fast play this for a couple days with some quick rolls if that's what you guys want to do, and then we can call it. So I just have a launching point for the next session, and y'all maybe have an idea of what events have happened. Is that okay? Does anyone have anything else they want to add or contribute?
I'm game for that, but I would like to add one more thing beforehand.
Sure.
I will throw out that since the sisters with the one eye, I feel like they've already taken a step to gain some kind of magical ability. I don't know if they're brainwashed to the same degree as the people, but I would gladly trade the life of a townsfolk for the life of one of them. I feel like they might be too dangerous. If we find anything out, I'm definitely willing to change my thoughts, but I I don't mind taking out the few to save the many in this case.
Understood.
If they are strictly going to be in our way.
Understood. Cool. So, mm, I will say one other thing. No, I won't say it. It's fine. We'll just do some rolls and we'll try to figure stuff out and I'll track days. And we'll go from there. Is that cool with everybody for now?
Yup.
The
All
town's
right.
all gonna die while we try to figure out what to do. And
Man.
then Rock's gonna turn into evil Rock and fireball all over you.
I
All
think
right. So, I'm going to spout off some things. Y'all let me know if it's something you want to do or if you want to add to the rolls, like the roll pool, and then we'll go from there. Some things that y'all didn't mention is like preparing, like our Rock, are you going to be translating spells into your book from the scrolls? Are people going to try to help Rock feel better? Where are you guys going to try to reach out and find Essos? Are you guys going to try to send some of the Fox Force over to Green Post with the supplies that they've gathered?
Yes to that
So
one.
there's a lot of, da-da. So, but just for the sake of the general info, so the next day will come, you'll have had a rest. Al has the time, Devin has the ladle, yada yada.
I'm gonna spend my time with Ruck. I'm not to do anything in specific, but just to like be there.
Yeah, understood. Cool. So Dragnar and some of the Fox Force would, go out into the city and just start, listening, doing that. We'll say you are able to gather some sort of intelligence and insight of like where some of the shrines will have less of a persona, right? Less people there. Um, and I guess the idea is that y'all will go to some of them and just sabotage them. Are you like ripping them apart, burning? Not, I would hope not burning them down, but how are you disrupting the various shrines? My question.
With a noisy bird and minimal of planning.
Well, that's
Oh,
possible. So yeah, mark off 10 GP worth of if you summon Pebble back.
Oh, are we
Yeah.
just like fast tracking that stuff?
well, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I'll summon. Yeah, definitely would be my first priority.
Okay.
Are the symbols, the harvest symbols, visible to the naked eye?
Some of them
that-
are for sure. Yeah. The symbols have always
Okay.
been visible to the naked eye.
Then I feel like I'd recommend those as priority if there's a way to destroy those or whatever foundation they're embedded into.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let that be priority. And then after that, if there's a way to make it someplace that's not preferable to
Mm-hmm.
be around, just kind of if it's just like a little gazebo, tear down a gazebo. People don't want to be around it anymore.
Okay.
If it's something smaller, we're starting out with.
Okay.
We can
So,
take it down.
gotcha. Okay. So let's say this, and you guys can interject. For the next day or two, you guys disperse in little groups, pockets, trying to stay somewhat separated as to not grab too much attention to your eclectic selves. You blend in, you listen, you are at different parts of town. However, you all stay to the west as to avoid the eyes of the east. Um, you are able to find some shrines that are left unattended. And whenever that opportunity arises themselves, you mark them for the day, come back at certain times in the evening, or when you think no one would actually be able to stop you. And based off your, working together, can I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Can I have everybody roll me a D4. Would that be okay? I'll roll for Dregnar just to keep it quick.
Shit. Maybe.
And I'll try to do
Yeah,
this
that,
part quick so we can get off of this.
that's a
soon.
1.
So we got 1, 2, 3. All right, so 8, 10, 13. Am I missing anybody? No, 13. All right, we'll say in the following couple days, you're able to dismantle, disrupt, and get rid of 13 different shrines. None of them, maybe a couple of them were actually like those neutral gazebos that had been overtaken and eventually converted. But you're able to get rid of them. Something as you guys are going out into the streets and amongst the commoners, while you are kind of doing this, you'll pick up on some sentiments of some people actually being kind of relieved that, the shrines are down, that they're out of the way. But you also get on the other side, some people are getting frustrated and upset. But doing this, rather than resurrecting some of them, they seem to be just pushing further away from where you guys are. So you're slowly starting to push some of the followers and the let's say stronghold, air quotes, like markers, a little bit more to the central and to more east. Another thing that you guys pick up on is just the abundance of food that is left out because they have nowhere to really take it is building up, and there's that Surratt. And one thing I will notice is that times in the river, they're just starting to dump some of the food into the water and letting it just be carried away. Couple more days will pass, and you guys continue to kind of do this subterfuge guerrilla style of interruption and having, you know, one gathering information and then trying to not necessarily get attention to yourselves. In this time, uh, Davis and Dregnar, you would have worked with the Fox Force to get them to rendezvous with Vinny and his crew to meet up with Julian, and then they would have taken supplies over to Ken Ross and Velma and the other ones, and they would have helped get what supplies they could down to Green Post. You do hear word that Seb reunited with Hava and Wiggs and Marb, and that they are working down there to now, set up better camp, distribute the supplies, etc. On the 4th day, when you guys are going out to disrupt, you hear people discussing that the Reds have started to spread and that they've started to aggressively take parts of the town, that the insanity is spreading. They call it like the red plague, the red mist, the crazy kiss. They have like different words for it. And they are encroaching and more aggressively tipping over like shrines, but they're painting the city red with red clays and red paints. There's fighting in the street. There's blood in the street as conflict starts to arise, and you hear rumors of Big Red pushing, his people to share the gift of the kiss. Uh, so now there's infighting amongst the city, spreading from the north. I'll go to the city map. So we'll go boop, 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 boop. And by all means, at any point, interject me and ask questions. So the red started here, and from what you guys are kind of gathering, I'm gonna move your tokens here, but it's probably spread like this. Starting to work its way down, like so. Let me get your tokens out of the way. Oh, great. Of course it grabs everything. Woo! Grab tokens. Grab tokens. So that'll be now 4 days in the future. So let's go ahead and go to the calendar. Alt. Okay. Anyone have any questions or thoughts or interjections?
So, in gathering information, do we
Mhm.
find out if that red guy is kind of crazy also, or is he like, I get that he's instigating all this
All
this
of them are
stuff.
sort of crazy. Yeah. Yeah. All of it is somewhat crazy.
They're just attacking the temples. They're not like roughing up people other than just being wild
Oh
and
no.
crazy.
They're wild and crazy. They're roughing up everything. But specifically like when you guys were gonna go out one time to go, head further north, you come to the point like to where you guys were gonna be, and it is already just all painted red and knocked over and everything. Like they're already starting to kind of like spread.
Okay.
But it seems like it's not like you pick up on it, it is not coordinated at all. It's just unleashed insanity. And there are people just being killed in the streets by them error and stuff like that.
What are the sisters and the clergy doing in response?
So some of the faith militant are being sent to, protect different parts of where I guess the parts that have not been, touched by the Red Kiss yet. You do start to hear rumors that the sisters are going to hold a great ceremony in the name of the mother to try to uh, instill protection to push away uh, the red mist and to keep Green Hill as the promised Mecca for her and her children and her followers. And this would be to occur. Go back to calendar. In the next, they would say on the coming 2 days after the eclipse. So that would be on the 11th. Oops. Oh, great. I can't even grab that red dot. That's annoying. Ugh. So we'll say you
It's
guys
just
make it to
okay.
the 10th. The city is becoming, hostile and kind of dangerous in certain parts. Certain people, as you guys are amongst the people, those that are not completely devout and those who are just kind of acting, they seem to be okay. There's not like tears are not shed over the fact that the shrines are being defaced and there's violence in the streets because it's not close to them. You do hear of the gathering, like almost you know, yeah, there's going to be a gathering that's going to be led by all the sisters and all those that are, blessed by the mother will be there in a day or two. We can play loosey goosey of how much time you guys think you need, but if anything,
I do gotta go now, Adam.
okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
past ones.
There we go. Yeah, perfect. So we'll set up with it being next session and we'll go from there.